G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Looking at doing a round 14 review, see how the team did. You guys probably know the drill by now if you've been following, but if you haven't been, um, I just want to say that I really appreciate everyone so far for subscribing, commenting, jumping on board and getting involved, liking the videos. And if you've been following, like I said, we've been trying to get to 50 subscribers. I just had a look. We've got to 40. What's really good. Couldn't be more thankful for everyone that's jumped on board. But if you haven't, jump on board, subscribe, like, comment, get involved as much as you can. Get involved and chat amongst yourselves as well. I think it's a good thing to sort of just create some conversation and enjoy Supercoach, the game that we love playing, right? So, so really appreciate all the support. Apart from that, we're going to have a look at how my team individually did, but also a few of the common sort of questions or challenges that we'll be facing as coaches, stuff like the sort of Archie Roberts injury, what I'm sure is going to affect a fair few people, and what to do, how many trades you should have moving forward, and just how to sort of end your sort of buy rounds and what you should be doing. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. My team did pretty well on the weekend, 2,124, what was in the top 7%, about 13K rank for the week. But if you've been following, top 500 was our goal to try to get in there. We got him. So first crack after getting into the top 1,000, we slipped in and we're ranked 472. And then we've moved up 70 spots. So really, really good week for us. We left a few points out on the field. What was unfortunate, we could have been a really, really nice score. Probably left 100 points out there just due to poor captaincy choice, but at least we were able to score decent without a good captain, and I think that's a sign that our team's pretty healthy. So let's have a look. Let's have a look what happened. Also, I hope you guys caught the Australia-Turkey game in the World Cup. I'm a big soccer fan, so I was stoked to see the Aussies do well in that. So that was unreal. Sort of split my attention between the World Cup and a bit of the footy on Sunday, so that was good. The boys, let's have a look. Sinclair 90, lost a little bit of his role, especially with the kick-ins, with Nas coming back into the side, but because he's so highly owned, it doesn't really matter that much. 90 is good. We just want him to score well just because, it looks good, I suppose, but I don't think his scores are really affecting many people. It's just the pod players that are a lot of us are building a team that's fairly similar, right? Max Holmes, 124, really good return to form for him. I think I might have a look at how much people own these players as well. I just feel he's in 53% of the teams, right? So Max Holmes is in 44% of the teams. Ash is in 26%, so a little bit less owned. So how good does it feel when you bring in a player like Lockie Ash and he scores 130? There isn't a better feeling in Supercoach when you trade someone in, maybe only when you trade someone out. I feel like when you trade someone out and they do poorly, and then you trade someone in, they do really well. That instant gratification is just unreal. And that's what we got this week with Lockie Ash. I know a lot of people brought him in. So 6% of coaches brought him in this week, and he rewarded us with 130. So on your Lockie Ash, good effort. Lockie Whitfield, on the other hand, 99, not too bad. He's in 24% of teams, so similar to Ash. They've proven that they can score well together, both playing out of the back line. So I'm hoping that they can just go sort of 105 plus for the rest of the year, and I'd be stoked. 110 plus would be unreal. So decent from Lockie Whitfield, 99. Archie Roberts was a tough one. This is a tough pill to swallow. So he's in 33% of teams. He was kind of a pod, but kind of not. Had the perfect role, was dominating this game as well. He scored 60 and he went off before halftime with a dislocated shoulder. But they're probably going to put him through surgery. If not, he's going to miss a lot of the season anyway. This sucks. This sucks. We're running out of trades as it is. This is just bad timing. At least he had his bye this round, but we'll see the news reports. Maybe he comes back, but I doubt it. Josh Worrell just couldn't get around it. Just a disappointing week for him. A lot of our score depends on someone like a Josh Worrell because he is kind of like a pod for us. I would really love to turn him into Blakey after the bye. Just a little tweak that I could make that could really push my scores up, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it now. We were planning on turning him into Naz, but even that's hit a little bit of a roadblock now. We'll have a look. We'll have a look at what we're going to do. But for now, probably not going to be able to happen. Wade Dirksen had the bye on the weekend, and Hawker Hahn, who's a rookie that we brought in before he played his first game, and he's backed it up with a 68. He looks really good. He looks solid. I think he can go sort of average 60 plus. Or to be nice cover for us and possibly make us some cash for a last trade, possibly. Bailey Smith, we had the captaincy on him this week, just didn't damage enough to really get that big score. Found enough of the ball as usual. I just thought of Gold Coast at GMHBA, he'd have a big one, but 109 is not too bad. At least it wasn't a disaster. Zach Butters, 128, just doing what he does, sort of that 115 to 130 range with Zach Butters is super consistent, just a gun, and hopefully he's playing for the Bulldogs next year. Bonte had a tough one, only leaked out to 101. I think he was pretty lucky to get 101, and I think he was that good. So, I think he's limping towards the bye. I think I'd expect Bont to have a huge second half of the season, just needs to get to that bye. Clayton Oliver, unreal, 120, looks unreal this year. Looks fit, looks strong, looks like he wants to be there, and is playing unreal. So I always have just reservations about having him in my side just because he's not that damaging, but he just gets enough of the ball. He's getting clearances, he's getting contested ball, getting heaps of it. He's just a lock in my side now. I can't trade him out anyway. Ed Richards is a down game. These are the guys that matter for us. These are the guys that are going to shape our season, so our sort of pod picks. So Worrell, Richards, Oliver. How many people have Oliver? 15%. So 15% and then 13% for Richards, 12% for Worrell, and only 12% for Lachie Neale. So these four guys are the guys that really, determine how good our score is for the week, because a lot of the other guys are highly owned. So we need Ed Richards to bounce back after scoring 3 tons admittedly for us on the trot and then just dished out an 85. Got enough of the ball, just butchered it. I actually don't mind that as a sign. At least he didn't look sore. I think there's, just as long as if he was better with his disposal, he gets 110. So I think that's okay. Lachie Neale, this was so frustrating. Only 50% of game time in the first half. He still got to 102, but just was unable to cash in against Richmond and the easy matchup there. And like I said, his scores matter to us, right? He's a sort of a lower owned player. Sardis, I don't know. I watched this game. He was horrible. I don't know how he scored 73. I'm surprised he didn't score 3. He got enough of the ball, but just he cannot kick. When he gets it and he has to kick the ball, I swear he looks down at the ball and it's almost like he's looking down at an object that he's never seen before. He's like shocked when he looks at it and has to kick it. I think he'll get dropped, to be honest, but he's done one. If he's gone 85, 93, 73 and made 130K for us, and that's what we brought him in for. He provided decent cover through these bye rounds, what was unreal for him. Good timing for him to come in and make some cash and provide the cover, but he has to go. You could keep him. He's got a low break even, but I honestly don't think he'll keep his spot. It's a tricky one, but yeah, he's definitely not a keeper, especially with Fitzgerald, who I think can just do similar. Fitzgerald, first game, 26 posies, contested ball player. There was a lot of sort of hat kicks in there, but it was a wet weather game as well. I think he can do 70 plus Fitzgerald. He just looks like a ball magnet. The bench didn't play, so Dacos, Ison, and Burton. Grundy, a first decent score for us since he's been in my team. So 119, what was nice. I don't think he played that well, but, he looks like he's running out on empty. So I think this bye round is going to be nice for him. Gawn, just like the ruckman of our generation, is just a beast. He is a gun. Not even just Supercoach, just player-wise, absolute animal. 168, top score for the round for my team. And, this is where we left the point. We should have had him as captain, but we just thought against Essendon, who have been tough ruck matchups, we just thought we'd give it a miss. But sometimes it just, I don't know, I had a gut feeling with Gawn and I should have just backed it in. But mind you, we backed him in 2 weeks in a row before that. And I think that's what scared us off because he'd gone like sort of 109 or 110 the weeks before. Anyway, it's gone now. Jackson didn't play. Sheasel, 142, just dominated, found heaps of the pill against West Coast. He was unreal. Petrarca got the Mullen tag and scored 93. Well, it's not too bad, right? I feel like if someone said Petrarca's going to get tagged by Mullen. He's going to score 93. I'd take it. I'd take that. Horn Francis was the other guy we traded in 112. That instant gratification. Best feeling ever. I was nervous with Horn Francis because he's coming off 2 tons. I'm thinking, I'm chasing his points now. I'm chasing his X scores. But he managed to get another 112 and look good too. Didn't get many touches, but just his maximum damage, Horn Francis, what he is. So, we're just hoping that those limited touches, he does as much damage as possible. Cozzy was unreal. 141 against Essendon. I think I've said it on the channel before, he's my favourite player to watch in the comp. He's electric, does it all. And he did it all against Essendon. Goals, marks, kicks, speed. It's just unreal. Milan Murdoch just couldn't get near it against North, just didn't look likely the whole day. We were planning on keeping him. I don't know what we can do with him now. Is he really worth keeping around to score 53? Mind you, there can be a knee-jerk reaction, but he's done 2 of these in a row now. 2 50s in a row. It's a tough hold. You kind of got to really squint to sort of make a case for him to see him as a keeper from here. And then we had Banfield, Reed, and Pahadsky, who didn't play, and Kalani White, who also didn't play. So our awards this week, we're going to go best on ground, Max Gawn, 168. Who else could it go to? He was an absolute beacon for Melbourne and just dominated. He's taking the piss, kicking goals from the boundary and from outside 55. Just, unbelievable from Maxi Gawn. Return to form, we're going to go Clayton Oliver, and he hasn't really been out of form, but to go 120 after coming off an 80 in the bye, it was just so good to have him back. And the other thing I want to give it to Clary for is because whenever he scores 80, I think I come on here and basically whinge every single time and I'm trading this guy out. I know he's going to do it. I know he's just going to start dripping 80s, but he's just convinced me. I'm not going to get down in 4 weeks when he scores another 80. He's consistent. He's doing his job. I'm keeping Clayton Oliver. So, Clary, you're in, mate. You've got job security. You got a contract for the end of the year. You play your footy now. And then falling off has to go to Ed Richards, man. After 3 tons and then dropping an 85, there's no one else that I can really give it to on my side. I could go to, I'm not going to go Archie Roberts. He got injured. I has to go to Ed Richards with this. There's just no excuse. He had no excuses. Had a good matchup. Got enough of the ball. Just absolutely butchered the ball. So that's where those awards went. We'll have a look at the players coming off their bye. So for me, there's not that many that I want to talk about, but we had they're possible trade-ins, I suppose, and we've been doing it so far, so might as well keep it going. So Hawthorn, Carlton, Collingwood, and Fremantle. I think if you're looking for a ruckman, Luke Jackson is your man this week, but you also got Tristan Sherry, who's already had his bye as well, so one of those guys for an extra ruck. Like I've said before, the 3 ruckmen, we've said it in a previous video, there's been a lot of chat about what to do in your flex and sort of should you have 3 ruckmen. I've been really strong on the stance that yes, you should, because of their points and their good vice captaincy options. They're safe. They've got high floors. I know Cherry has dropped out a couple of, low scores, but apart from him, the other 3 rucks have done really, really well, and Cherry has really high sort of ceilings. So maybe have Cherry as a VC option and not a C option, because you don't want to bank on Cherry if he dishes out a 40, but he also has the ability to go 150 plus, and we've seen that a few times this year. So I'm a really strong advocate of 3 rucks. And this week was just prime example. I know they're going to have down weeks. Every player is going to have down weeks, but those guys are the best Supercoach players in the game. So get 3 of the big 4, in my opinion, if you can. Tracy, I think, is a definite top 6 forward. I probably just can't go in for the price, but I like him, and I think he's been super consistent. There's enough history there now this year to see that he's going to be a keeper. Nick Dacos, if you don't have him, great option. So get Nick Dacos. I wouldn't go Newcomb, but does he start scoring better now that Day's in the side? He's not a bad, cheaper option. I'm going to be looking elsewhere, but I don't mind the John Newcomb pick. Coming off the bye as well, refreshed. He was a little bit sore before that, so I wouldn't be surprised if Jai starts doing well. Maybe now I'm starting to talk myself into getting John Newcomb. Shea Bolton, I love this pick. Good forward option. I think he's a top 6 forward for me. Walsh, no. Cripps, no. Brayshaw, no. Clark, no. Josh Dacos, no. Sicily, no. Murphy Reed, no. Even though I've got him, I wouldn't trade into him. But those rest of those guys, I just think are sort of mid price traps almost. I wouldn't be going any of those. Like you can kind of make a case for Walsh and Brayshaw, I suppose, but not really. And the rest of these guys, Cripps, Battle, Houston, Florent, MP, Luke Ryan, Nick Watson, probably not. Like Luke Ryan's possibility. I think Darcy Cameron you can make an argument for as a decent sort of cheaper ruck option. Caleb Sarong. So he's probably a better option than most. 469, he's been proven to can be a proper premium midfielder. I think last year his average was above 110. So let's have a look. Last year his average was only 105. So it's not that great. Probably not someone that I'd be going out of my way to get in my side. And the other one's Will Day. I think Will Day scores well, but I think even if this is what I would be saying with Will Day. So if you're thinking about bringing in Will Day, I would almost guarantee that Hawthorn will rest him at some stage just because of his injury history. I doubt that they just keep going. Like I reckon it will be like a 3 or 4 week sort of block. They'll rest him again, get him right for finals. So that one game, you're just missing out on a decent score that even if he averages 5 more than somebody else, he sort of loses that round. And there's obviously the injury history and the injury risk moving forward. And with such little trades, is that where you'd want to go? I think if you're picking between Day and Newcomb, go Newcomb for sure. That's just my opinion. There's no one else that I'd really have a look at. I like George Hewitt. I brought that up before. I really like that pick. And it's a possibility for my team as well moving forward. Let's have a look at my team and what we're going to do this week. Our trades, really, really tricky. I've thought about it really, really short. I don't like what I've thought of. Maybe you guys can give me some feedback on what to do. But basically my thinking is that I definitely want Naz in my team, right? I just don't want to bring in a rookie defender and then have to trade into a Naz later on in the piece. I don't want to be downgrading now because it's just going to cost me another trade in the future to get him in. So what I'm thinking about doing, and this is going against all my rules once again. So Archie Roberts has to go. Sardis I want gone, and possibly Milan Murdoch. It leaves me with 1.3. So I can basically get any players I want and then a cheap forward or a cheap player. But it's probably going to be a forward. So hear me out. I'm thinking about bringing in Naz, even though he has a bye in the last round. The reason being is I can either hold on to Archie Roberts and then trade Naz in, but then either way, even if I have Roberts or Naz, they're not playing in that last game. I mean, they're not playing in that round 16 bye. And I don't really have enough trades to go somebody else and then go Naz as well on top. I want to save the 5 trades. So I might as well get 1 week out of him and then he gets the bye. It just is what it is. Like no matter what, if I had Roberts injured or Naz, no matter what, I'm going to have them not play. The only other option, the reason why I really, really want Naz is because I just think he's going to be that far above any of the other defenders. Maybe I'm just getting carried away and he's not going to go that well. But, his average, his D4 as it is now, I think he's started the season slow. I think he's a sort of 111. What he's been averaging recently, I think, sort of what he can go. The other option is I go Noble, who's already had his bye. And then just rely on, Noble to score just as well as Naz. That could be an option. He's a little bit more expensive. Well, it's not ideal. And it actually costs us when I've done this and had a look into the sort of like what I'd be doing with my trades, because I'd be looking at bringing in a Harvey Harrison, I think it was. But then again, Noble's going to score twice for me. Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one to know what to do. Ideally, I would like a Nick Blakey. I still could go that. Or maybe we just buy. We just pay full price for John Noble. How was his season before that? Like, was he? How was his year going before this massive run? It's just 90s and 80s, and then something's just clicked, and he's just in a rich vein of form. Look, I don't know if that's sustainable. It probably is, to be honest. I really like him as a player. I love that option. If you've got him, well done. Well done. It's kind of thrown a little bit of a spanner in the works. I really don't know what to do this round. I'm going to need some of your help, guys. If you guys have some suggestions on sort of like a blend of players I should go, I just feel like if I do go Nas, I definitely want Nas, but just I have a feeling he's going to go huge against the Bulldogs this week, and I feel like that also is swaying my decision. I just got to put that aside and just go someone that doesn't have a bye. Or do I just keep Roberts this round and just make the move next week? But then I just miss out on like a round of I shouldn't do that, should I? Surely I've got to make the trade now. I might as well. It's not as if he's coming back, right? There's just no cheaper options at all. I kind of like Tom McCarthy, Jake Bowie even, but he's got the same buy. Might as well just bring in Naz if I'm going to do that. Tom McCarthy has the buy this round as well. There's just not many options. Luke Parker is one. And then it's basically Noble, Wayne Malira. What makes me bloody nervous? Bodie Hewlin. No. Is it Parker? Do I just take Luke Parker? I know he's just had a little sort of down few weeks, but like I said, it comes in cycles. Does he go back to this early form? And even this 94 and 99 is not that bad. But then I feel like I just got rid of Josh Dacos. If I bring in a Josh Dacos type now, I might as well have just kept him. I need to go for that upper echelon of guys. Do I wait and just buy Cal Wilkie cheap? Like, you're going to be able to get Cal Wilkie for $420 in a few weeks. Do I bring him in after his buy and just not go with defender now? It's a tough one to sort of navigate this round for us, isn't it? I really don't know what to do. Maybe I bring in a rookie that I think is going to play in defence. And Kai Nan looks like a good option. He looked pretty good. Maybe I go a Kai Nan and then bring in a mid and a forward. Or I could, if I'm doing this, I could just keep Murdoch for one more week. And I think I might do that just to save the trades. I could bring in any midfielder I want anyway, and then just make the decision on Murdoch next week, because I'll have a full forward line, I believe, this week when Reid and Pahadsky come in, and I'll just be one short in the flex. I'm happy with that. I've got good coverages around. I might as well. I don't want to bring in a shitty forward just for the sake of it. Like, I just don't want to bring in a person for the sake of it. God, Nas is just screaming to me, man. He's just like, I want him in my team so bad. But then do I still save the cash in the midfield? I think I do. It's very tempting to go Jordan Dawson. So tempting. And Melbourne have just gone head-to-head in the past as well. Like, they just went, do what you want to Nick Dacos when they played each other, right? And then he's got West Coast, who he's just carved up 146, 138, 158. And then Port, he hasn't done too well against, actually, in those showdowns. But he's just got a good run too. He's got Essendon and Richmond to go before the end of the season. Do I just pay up for him? Do I just pay up for Jordan Dawson? Maybe that's what we'll do for now. All right, let's just put this in for now. We're going to go Archie Roberts, Sardis to Anand and Dawson. Leaves us 6 trades with 245K. That's just not looking good. Because if I do that, then I'm going to have to do 3 trades to bring in a premium defender, a premium forward to get rid of Murdoch, and then just be left with 3. I'll be left with 3 trades after that. It's just not ideal. I think maybe I bite the bullet on a Naz. Do I go the opposite because of this? Do I leave my D6 open? I feel like Naz is that much more valuable though, right? He's a lot more valuable than a Murdoch. I mean, than a Shea Bolton or something like that. I just think Naz's score will be unmatched. The way that we can do that is just bring Naz into the flex. We can basically bring any player into the flex. Well, we can bring any player into the flex. That's why it's the flex, right? Do we just do... Who do I think is going to score the highest from now until the end of the season is what I should be thinking out of the players that are left available that I can afford. All right, let's have a look at Naz. I think Naz goes 110. Noble, I don't think he does that well. I think 107 is pretty fair. Noah Anderson is an option. Already had his bye. I like it. I think that's where I'm leaning. But then I don't have another midfield spot. So it's not a Noah Anderson. So it has to be a forward or a defender. The highest scoring forward or defender from now until the rest of the season. Naz, like we said, 110, 107 for John Noble. I think he's that far ahead of everyone, eh? Bailey Dale, no. Is it Isaac Rankin? Is that what we do? You can't do that. It has to be Naz. I just don't know the other option. It just has to be. I think I'm going to do it. I think we have to do it. All right, so that's what we're going to look. We're going to look at doing something like that. I need to get Naz in. I hope the thought process kind of makes sense. Tell me what you guys are going to do. I'm going to need help on this one. This one has truly stumped me on what to do. Moving forward, my team will look like this when there is no buys. So basically, I'll have Sinclair, Naz, Holmes, Ash, Whitfield, Worrell. Then I'll have Dawson, Smith, Butters, Bont, Oliver, Richards, Dacos, Lockie Neal. I'll have the 3 rucks, so I'm going to have to do a trade. I've got a couple of weeks to do this trade, though, because I've got buys to Grundy and then Gawn coming up. So I've got 3 weeks before I have to make a trade. What will take me down to 4 trades. So I'll have to get rid of probably a Dirksen to trade Anand back there to bring Jackson down into this position. And then, yeah, it's a bit of a mess. Yeah. We'll have to bring in a forward at some stage, a rookie forward, or have enough cash. But then that takes me down to 3 trades for the rest of the season to get a primo in. Probably just going to have to go a rookie and then hope that we get cashed in from somewhere. we're just running out of cash. But hopefully we can get a really cheap forward, someone like, someone that really falls off. I think Durham is a really good pick for that F6 cash strapped wise. Probably not just a sideways from Murdoch, though, I suppose, is what I'd be doing now. Or do I just take the hit on Dawson, go someone like significantly cheaper, and then hope that I can just do like a sideways trade into the future for the forward? What do I reckon is going to average? The question, there's so many questions you got to ask yourself. Like, is Dawson going to average? Is having Dawson better than having a decentish like a George Hewitt or a Jai Newcomb and an elite and another forward? But what if I never make enough money to actually get that forward? I'd probably rather just have Jordan Dawson, right? Anyway, let's just go with that for now. That team's solid. Like that's basically going to be my finishing team, eh? Sinclair, Miller, Holmes, Ash, Whitfield, Worrell, Dawson, Smith, Butters, Bont, Oliver, Richards, Dacos, Neal, Grundy, Gawn, Sheasel, Petrarca, Horn, Francis, Pickett, Matthew Reid. And then we're going to have Pehadsky playing basically. Pehadsky and then Luke Jackson in our flex. It's decent. I don't think it's going to win too many. Like, it's not going to win the... There's going to be a lot of better teams coming home than mine, but it's good enough for now. Hopefully it holds on for long enough. Anyway, let me know what you think I should do. These are my really way too early in the week trades. I'll be thinking about it all week, I suppose. But let me know what you guys are doing. Let me know any tips that you think I should be doing. Like I said, subscribe, like, comment. Thanks for jumping on the journey. And hopefully we're all rising up the ranks. Let me know how you guys are going, all right? So apart from that, I'll catch you later in the week for the round 15 preview. Take it easy.